Hey gamers, you're going to need to give me a moment. Just one moment. You know what? Give me just a second.
Well, if I'm a doggo and I sneeze, sneeze, sneeze.
Do I have a WouHou OBS scene? Oh, I do. VS code. Here we go. Hang on. This looks fine. Alright. It's me. Hey gamers. Hello everyone. Is the audio okay? Hello Waste, Donut, Scout, Avocado. Hello. I'm exhausted, dude. We've just travelled up and down on the train for like a couple hours for dinner. So I'm snoozy. Camel Case Doko. Hey everyone. Let me just remember what I was doing. I was working on this on Saturday and Sunday, like quite a lot on Sunday. So I've got some progress to show you all and some stuff to explain. I'll just be continuing with it today. We can do a little cleanup. We can add some more systems. We can talk about what I've gotten. How are all of you? How's your day been? What have you been all up to? Alright. I'm just setting up some stream stuff on the other side. Did I tweet? Yeah. Steam? Yeah. Discord? I think I did Discord, didn't I? Doggo reviews pictures. Okay. I've also got a bit of a headache. Apparently. Alright. Well, whatever. You're doing alright, Twitchland? Let's see. Is this... I like to immediately build. Do I have the game? VS Code 2. Oh shit. How about this? Check it out, chat. So if you remember last stream, we'd spent 3.5 hours and we'd just about gotten a sprite to draw to the screen. Check this out.
Gay scorpions.
That's right. You can move now.
Long time, long boy.
Isn't that insane? Thank you for the... Is that 4 years? Fucking hell. Is that 4 years? It must be. Jeez, Amy. Thank you. Oh, you just got home. Good timing. Oh, I've got a little tea here. I don't know what kind of tea this is. Probably lavender, right? Oh, it's lavender. I feel like I'm gonna fall asleep on stream. Probably. I've also got like a bunch of candles on my desk. Like I've been lighting candles at work during the day to relax. I think that's 4 years. How does that feel? Anyway, yeah. Do you want me to show you how this was all implemented, chat? Are you excited? You have no idea how... Remember how excited I was at the end of the last WouHou stream where I got a sprite to draw to the screen? Imagine if I'd spent an entire Sunday working on it as well. That's what I'm going to show you. Makes you feel old. You are old by Karama. You probably started watching me when you were like 48 and now you're like 72. You had a nice... Oh shit, is it your birthday, Waste? It's not today, is it? You had a nice birthday burger when you went to the gym because that cancels that out. PEMDAS and all that. Oh shit, happy birthday, Waste. Hang on, I'll play a birthday song. Give me a second.
And if you like it enough, you're like, oh, I want to keep this definitely. You can always get a new one.
Why is there no cut version of just this song? Oh, here we go. Michael, it's your birthday today. Cake and ice cream is on the way. Michael. There you go. Alright. Phil's birthday, man. Happy birthday, Waste. How does it feel to be a month older than me? You have had the house nearly 4 years, which means the fixed rate is up you. Damn. Imagine owning a house. Feels nice. I bet. I have a spot inside my left ear. It's really fucking killing me. Anyway, you don't need to know that, but you do. So now you can all... You know, like the villain, like when the villain has something relatable and you like feel like he has a reason for being so evil. That's that. Anyway, this exciting stuff on the left that I'm covering with my stupid face. There you go. You can all sit on top of me, that's fine. You put it there when you snuck out of the walls last night. Poggers. I kind of want to put on like Dark Souls music. Like, is there like relaxing, like lo-fi Dark Souls music? I think that's a thing. There must be, right? That must be a thing. Lo-fi Dark Souls playlist, rest at the bonfire, 6 hours. Oh my god. Please. Exist. Yeah. Yo, nameless song. Alright. Fucking love Dark Souls, dude. Alright. Coding and Dark Souls music. That's right. Okay. If you can hear me. It really is your birthday. Yeah. You idiot. Here you go. You can have a Fumo. You can have a birthday Fumo Waste. There you go. Alright, arigato, yeah. Alright. Alsjeblieft. Alright. These are the systems, alright? This stuff is the coolest. Alright? So, this is game, right? This thing, if I get the minimap back. However I do that. Minimap. Here we go. This is the game function. You can see it's a bit smaller than last time, but it's still a bit thick and juicy. Get out of here, chat. What I've been doing is slowly moving things out of game and putting them into individual systems. So you'll see some beautiful stuff here, for example. Hey, Bowser. The display function. Prepare for display. Tick. Update. They only do one thing, and that is to go through a list of systems and tell them to update, or tell them to tick, or tell them to prepare for display, or tell them to display. And that separates our concerns beautifully. So for example, the display system, you can see some of the legacy code here. The sprite drawing stuff is now in a system called screen rendering system. Oh, hello Zephyr. Thank you for the Prime sub. Hello, thank you. Ah, woo. Yeah, thank you very much. You see the screen rendering system, right? We've created this lovely interface just called system, which has all of these methods, and you can pick and choose if you want them or not. They have a default, what's the word? Default definition? That's not... Default implementation. You can see they have these curly brackets, meaning that technically you can call them, but they do nothing. So you don't have to inherit them, but you can pick the ones you want. The display one I think is quite easy to explain, right? This system, when it's told to display, finds every single sprite entity that has a transform being its position. That's all that is. Anything with a position component, anything with a sprite, goes through that enormous list and renders them. That's it. That's what it does. But this means anytime you want to add something with a sprite, you just give it these two components and it just automatically draws it like that. So no having to like manually recreate this for every single object that needs a sprite or every single position and calculate all that bullshit. It's done magically using the power of entity component system. Not quite OOP. I mean, it's kind of it's OOPy, but it's entity component system. It's the opposite, yeah. Like we have objects, we're passing around objects, but like instead of writing stuff on the object level, we're sort of treating stuff as, what's the word? It's a bit more procedural, I suppose. Like there's a total like game state, and things are just sort of handled automatically in this enormous factory of moving wires and belts and stuff. Yeah, it's data oriented. It's similar to what we did in WouHou 1. If you remember, we had like a huge list of like every bullet, every entity, or every enemy, every player, every thing, and we individually hard coded, went through all those lists and like rendered them and drew them. And this is that, but much smarter. So instead of having a list of every bullet, we don't. We have the registry, which is every entity in the entire system, everything. And every entity can have 0 or many components, which can be anything. These are the components I've got so far. Collision, which doesn't do anything yet. Animation, which also doesn't do anything. Action responder, which means we pass keyboard inputs and mouse inputs and stuff into. Movement input, which means it moves in a direction from an input. It doesn't have to be keyboard. This could come from like a file or from an AI or from action responder. So that's cool. We have transform, which is basically just position, but you have both the current position and the previous position, so you can interpolate between them. So instead of stuff jumping around as it draws, it smoothly moves between them. We have physics, which is just a simple, I mean, Donut wrote this one, but he wrote most of this, but simple physics. What's the word? Implementation? No. Simulation. Simple physics simulation. And linear motion for when there doesn't need to be physics, for when something just moves in a direction. You can see here an example of how to make an entity. We did this last time, I think. This is a player. So this should really be called like spawn player or something. But ignoring that for now. You create a new entity. That's what this is. You pass it in. And a position, I suppose. But you're creating a new entity, and we pop that entity into the registry and give it the components transform, so it has a position, collision, so inevitably it will have a collision at some point, sprite, so we can draw a sprite, and we also pass in a sprite ID for the player texture here. That we'll probably redo this at some point. This is sort of hard-coded. Movement input, I've just yoinked these out of Donut's example he sent me. So the character weighs like, I don't know, 50 kilograms. Maybe. Depends how you want to think about it. I'm sure there's an actual definition for this. But they weigh 50 units. Maybe there is a real unit for that, I wonder. They weigh 50 units. Or their mass, sorry, is 50 units. Their weight is... I don't know if I have gravity, really. But, you know, their mass is 50. Their force of their movement input, so when you press the keyboard, it pushes with this much force and desired speed. It is kilograms. Okay, that's sensible. So we could have characters with different weights. Hey Templar, how goes your C's? It goes great. I did lots of off-stream work, so now I'm explaining some of what I've done. So we looked earlier at the screen rendering system that draws everything. So as long as something has a sprite and a transform, it will get chucked in here. We have action responder that I mentioned earlier. It assumes 1 meter is 64 pixels. Okay. Thank you, that's good to know. Action responder is a little messy, forgive me, but it's a work in progress, of course. But this thing captures the update cycle, and it just runs through input manager, you know, when keys are pressed, blah blah blah. But this is the fun bit, right? We're capturing all these keys. These don't really do anything right now. I haven't quite worked out the best way to do this, but I don't think this is really being used either. I think. I don't think that's being used, is it? Just double check. Yeah, okay. What we're doing here is for every single entity that has a movement input, which you remember is this. So, you know, it has a desire to move in some particular direction at some speed. Anything that has a movement input and this action responder component, which is empty. Now, apparently that means that it takes up no space. It's like isn't really added to the registry or something. There's some genius going on with it. Hey Rob. Every entity that responds to actions, which is the system, and has a movement, has its movement modified, and that's how the player is moving around. It's that simple. So if I removed the movement input from the player, he'd no longer move with the keys. Or if I got an enemy and I added this component to them, they would start moving around with the keyboard input. Isn't that kind of sick? So I can chuck, you know, for example, I could have something in this method, if I had like a main menu that needed to capture the keyboard input, that could have a movement input and then something to define a list of items, and then it moves up and down in this method. Isn't that really cool? Collision's empty. Linear movement is linear movement. The position gets added to. It's simple. There's a shortcut for get absolute vector where you pass two actions as the input instead of subtracting one from the other like there. This? Yeah, is that not this? You can pass 4 actions and get a 2D vector. Yeah, that's this bit. This bit wasn't working the other day when I was trying though, so I stopped using it. There's this thing. See? Something about it was... I mean, I can try and see if it works now. I don't know why it was broken, but I can try. Movement input calculated. I'm just going to leave it for now, honestly. I don't care. This works fine. I just want to go on with talking about what I'm talking about. Movement system is yoinked straight from Donut's thing. Is WouHou the name of the game? Yeah, it's Woolen Toho. It's very creative. This is the physics simulation. So it pretty much just calculates force, friction, speed, linear velocity, or external force, I suppose. Somewhat simple stuff, but I find it a pain in the ass to read, so I'm going to ignore it. This is applying the physics to the component, or to the entity's transform, so their position. Somewhat simple stuff. Previous position is set to the current position, so that's how we get the previous position constantly lagging behind by a cycle. And then you adjust as so. So yeah, pretty simple stuff, but it all works quite nicely, as you can see. And I'm slowly making it so this game function, or this game file, is getting smaller and smaller. Ideally, this file is like 50 lines or something, you know. I would like it if this is basically just like a skeleton that passes through the methods to everyone else. And that's that. It's amazing how little work I got done in an entire day. But there you go, that's the life of me. And due to all this magic, this now moves around. Isn't that brilliant? And by normalizing the movement vector, i.e. like stopping them from moving more than one unit, you prevent that weird bug where you move like 1.4 times faster in the diagonals, which is like a pretty common issue. Replace this crap. Alright, let's have a look. I'm quite tired, Donut, so I'm going to be a little short with you today. What do you want me to do? Remove the X and Y stuff with the vector 3. I mean, that's just this bit then, isn't it? In TF2, you can move diagonally backwards quicker than you can straight backwards. Yeah. Well, I mean, isn't that because you only move 10% slower if you're going completely backwards? Or am I thinking of something else? Is that more of just the thing I was talking about? Input manager, go active, yeah. 0. So I can make it a vec3 if I pass that in. Okay. I really need like an easy way to get to the end of the line, but my keyboard does not allow it. Alright, that should work. What's wrong? Yeah, absolute vector. Oh, whoops. And like that. Okay. So there you go, I guess.
Yes, no legs. I was like, okay.
Theoretically, this works then, I guess. Although I don't know whether this is currently being used. Movement input. What the fuck? I think I just deleted the wrong thing. Oh, I did. Okay, hang on. Movement input, don't. How about that? So if the movement input isn't dead center, like not moving anywhere, we normalize it. That fixes the diagonal issue. Cool. This should work. Yeah. Cool. Nice like Visual Studio community purple in the background. You've tried to learn coding yourself. 3 years in vocational school wasted due to forgetting what you learned to code in first year. You never managed to get back on track. It's not time wasted, surely. You developed a skill. It's easy to forget. Like, I've forgotten all of this. I haven't done C++ in like years. I've forgotten like some of the extremely basic syntax, but you can usually just pick stuff back up again. Bit of revision, a bit of hard work, you can normally get it back. What sort of... 3 years is a long time. No, I deleted the linear algebra thing. I got rid of that. What is vocational as well? Is that by choice? How you can do vec3 without GLM? Oh, that's a good question. I think I did a using... Yeah, I got sick of typing GLM all the time, so I popped it in here, I guess. Forgot about that. Don't worry, I can get rid of this everywhere as well, if you really want. You want to be nitpicky. We can replace that. Unless I'm including... I mean, it's in common, isn't it? Don't need to put common everywhere. You have common, so you should be able to do this. You should have common. Well, actually, hang on. System might have common. Yeah, you have common too. I think pretty much everything's going to have common. There you go. Science. Is that what vocational is? The only thing you learned is a bit of logic on how code talks to the computer. I'm not sure if that explains it the right way. Well, IMHO, from what I remember from like my other friends at uni, like I went to uni, I'd already been doing coding for quite a long time, but a lot of people went there brand new. I think the hardest part for a lot of them wasn't like the writing code bit, like the syntax, but it was the logic part. Like it's the theory. Knowing why and how stuff does what it does, not how to put that on paper. So if you learned like the actual core part of the subject, I'd say you've done quite well, because that's the hardest bit. Like understanding how the bloody hell a bit of metal and silicon can store like algorithms and shit. It's hard for people to wrap their heads around. Knowing that you are able to code certain things or not to do certain things. Some people don't understand like the point of a variable, or like a, I don't know, or like what an array is. They get confused. So if you've gotten past that, I think you've learned quite well. It's magic, yeah. Like a lot of people, you know, people click on like phishing links in like the current era. People set their PIN code to their like birthday. That's your competition. You normally include all the files you need explicitly, even if you know they're included transitively. Okay, cool. What am I gonna do? I wanted to do something more interesting today. I didn't realize how tired I was gonna be. Maybe not the best thing to do when I was tired, but I didn't want to do Overwatch 3 days in a row. What do I want to do then, chat? Anything you want to see in particular? We can continue trying to move stuff around. I can't be fucked to refactor. There's all this stuff with like underscores where they should be like, you know, systems. Fuck the normies. I'm not putting M underscore on my local variables. Header guards? Yeah, dude. That's what you get in footy, isn't it? You're a header guard. This shit can probably be put somewhere else. Damn, it's been a long day, huh? Alright, I want to do something fun. We'll do something fun. Let's do something fun. Let's program in a bounding box somehow, maybe. How do I do that? I want to make a component that you can give to something that holds a set of coordinates that defines where you can and can't move out of. And I guess it would mostly just be used by the player. But it can basically be the thing that restricts the player to like the little box and stops them. Because like in this example here, there's nothing stopping the player from, you know, just running off the screen, which is stupid. So we can have something now. Let's do that. Let's make a new component. Let's call it restricted movement for now. I'll come up with a better idea later, but we'll just call it restricted movement. We'll chuck it on the player. If you can think of a better name, let me know. I can't think right now. We'll make this. We'll include it. Hang on. You should be in components, right? Yeah, okay, it's just not built yet. That's fine. This needs to have a set of coordinates for top left, top right, bottom left, bottom right. I don't know necessarily the best way to do that. I could either have two vec2s or I could have a vec... Is there a vec4? Oh, there is. Okay. Allowed movement. We'll just call it this. I'll call it allowed movement rectangle for now. I'm sure we can come up with a better name. Need to save the header file for the changes to be reflected. Okay. Alright, restricted movement. We're now going to be able to pass in a vector saying where they can move. So top left, bottom right, I guess. Hey, Bertie. For now, I'll just chuck it in directly, like I'll hard code it in like this, but at some point I'll pass it in here. Maybe game will define the playable window, the playable space. But for now, we'll just put it in like this. Vec4. And just for the sake of like example, I'll say it's like 64F, 64F. Well, it's like 16F, 16F. By, I don't know, like 128F. By 128F. Is that right? Oh, that's stupid. There's a rectangle class in libdonut you can use. Oh yeah. Position size. Hi, Bertie. You meant like logic of instead of code being say it to a computer like a person, but saying a value or a file is X. Now do that with X. Yeah. I'm tired, but I'm not worried. Thank you, Bertie. How are you? We had ramen earlier. Actually, I didn't say. I don't have any pictures of my ramen. I might. Nice mochis as well. Hang on a second. I'll show you a picture. Which is my one? Does this work with the green food with the green screens? Famously, like, yeah, it just doesn't work. There you go. You can kind of see my ramen if you ignore it. You have pictures of a Totoro cookie. Hell yeah, dude. Oh, you can see the mochis, maybe. You see the mochis? Nope. The mochis look horrible. Okay. Whatever. Rob? It doesn't matter. Like, that... I think that reflects my point. Like, if you understand the logic of if you understand that, then you've got it. That's it. The jump from that to writing the code equivalent is much smaller than the jump from not knowing that to knowing that. Have I been staying hydrated? Yeah, I think somewhat. I'm just, I'm a snoozy boy. Okay. What's it called? Donut shape rectangle? It's just rectangle. What's wrong? Use of classed... Wait, hang on. Is it not called donut rectangle? What's it called? Namespace donut. Struct. Rectangle. You should be able to do rectangle float. Okay. Maybe it's just rectangle. Oh, a float. Do you have to specify a type for the... Is that why I was asking for T? Alright, here we go. So you've got... I'm going to call it bounding box. No, I'm going to call it playable space. There you go. The restricted movement is going to have a float called playable space. Playable space is a rectangle of floats. And it looks like this. I guess actually, technically our coordinate system's odd. It's like it starts in the bottom left and stretches that way, I think. So we need to start at 1616. Vocals? Not in my lo-fi playlist. Get out of here. Stinky. I put vocals in my lo-fi playlist. Oh. What am I coding? We're making a bullet hell game. You'll see it in a minute. You can hear Chris playing Overwatch in the background. I don't know if any of them... I doubt any of them are streaming. I don't think you can... You can't see it. You can just listen to it in the background. Imagine you're there. Alright, so we're going to start... We're going to say the bounding box is 1616 and it stretches out to a size of 128 by 128. Bang. That should be fine. So this is our rectangle. This is our... I'll just go to these two maybe. What's wrong? Does it need to be .of in C++ maybe? Nah, it can't be it. Hang on. Let me build. Maybe it needs something. Cannot convert from initializer list to donut. Oh, what's wrong? Restricted movement. It needs a rectangle of floats. This is a rectangle of floats. Do you not have the donut thing? You have common. You can use the syntax. Oh, do I need to specify some syntax? Okay. Oh shit, is it 2 vec2fs? Sorry, 2 vector 2s, not a list of 4 floats. Fine. What's wrong now? Sounds great. I'll show you in a minute. I just need to get this working and then it will build. What's wrong? Can I convert from it? I bet you can. Like, what if I hit build? I bet you can. Like, if you just think about it. Yeah, thought so. All right. I love this. It's just great. Like, it tells you there's an error, but there's not really. Here you go. This is what it is now. It's so impressive, isn't it? Check it out. You can move. Yep, that's it. I'm currently making the bounding box thing to stop the player from moving off the screen. So let's try and do that. Restricted movement. I'm going to pop into. I want to put it into physics movement system. I want to put it wherever I'm actually modifying the transform. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to chuck it in here. Do I want to do this? I also... Anything that... Does it need to have the bounding box? I guess I could. You could have your own system that runs after physics. Yeah, because right now it's required... How would I guarantee that a system runs after physics, though? Because I'm just ticking... Is it the order that the systems are put in, I guess, into the list? We have the list up here of all the systems. If I put something afterwards, does that mean it runs literally afterwards? I would imagine so. That is the systems afterwards. I'm going to put physics like first. That seems sensible. Who's putting... Stop putting vocals in my cool... You know what? Get out of here, stupid. And put on Dark Souls lo-fi remix. Put on Chilling Souls. There we go. I don't want vocals. Alright, this is perfect. We're going to make a system. We're going to call it POG system. Alright? No. I'm going to call it... What the fuck did I call the component? Restricted movement system. And we'll chuck in the registry. That's perfectly fine. So that's just copy and paste. Do I want to put in tick or update? Tick is fine. I will call it restricted movement system. And I'll go in here, change the header guard. Oh. I've named it quite similar to the other one, huh? Input physics collisions render. That's good advice. Okay. We'll just do this. Plonk. Tick. Info. Alright, whatever. I'm going to avoid that. So, for every component that has a transform, so a position, and a restricted movement, how about instead of restricted movement system, we just have restricted movement. There we go. So for everything that needs to be restricted, we restrict it. I think that sounds pretty sensible, right? So we do... Oh, something's wrong here. We call transform and restricted movement. All right? Cool. And we don't have to like hard code a box. I was thinking just now, like maybe we could just have this as like a static somewhere, like the playable area. But I kind of like the idea that different things could have a different restricted movement. Like maybe, for example, this could function as like our garbage collector in some way, or we could recycle this into another system where like if a bullet goes off screen by like double the size of the screen, it gets deleted or something. That could work. Anyway, what's wrong here? Unused variable, great. If... I'm sure there's a better way to do this, but whatever. That's the whole project. Why can I not type? I forgot to put a fucking semi-bro. One of these boys in. Alright, there we go. If... Entity... God, I hate this fucking IDE. Oh, it's not entity. Transform, if transform position. Don't know if there's... I'm sure there's like a quick way to do this, but that's right. This is like programming 101, right, chat? You're never going to write the most efficient code first. You want to write something bulky and easy to understand first and then chip it away later. Because I'm just thinking, I can sit here for like fucking ever trying to think if there's like a shortcut to doing this. Because I bet Donut's going to like piss on me in chat and tell me how to do it in 5 seconds. But like, if you want to get stuff done like properly as a human being, do it as like your brain solves it first, and just have something written down and make sure it works, and then you can fix it later. So here I'm just going to check if the transform position is less than the restricted movement dot playable space dot position, then clamp it. I'm sure there's even a clamp command, but I'm just gonna baby it. All right, like this. This is what a clamp does. So there's definitely an easier way to do this, but just having something written first, so I know what I'm doing. Oh, position dot x, of course. So we're just gonna quickly pop this down just so we've got something written. So if it's less than x, cap it to x. If it's less than y, cap it to y. If the x is larger than the playable's position dot x plus the playable position dot width dot size dot x, then cap it to that. And likewise with the y value. Nice and simple, right? I'm sure it's wrong. I'm going to see why I'm horribly wrong now. That's good advice, as long as you don't forget the fix it later part. There we go. That's just what I want to hear, dude. I'm really glad I stream this sometimes. What's wrong here? What have I done? Make unique, no overloading. Ah, of course. I've done something in game. I bet I've forgotten to include it. Yes, okay. Restricted movement system. Alright. How are you feeling? Action responder, are you okay? Standard IO dot header. Oops, guess that's not needed anymore. You tried to learn code a few times afterwards at occasional times, but you always get demotivated because of earlier fails, so the learning attempts stop after a single session. You just gotta push through it. You gotta push, you gotta try your best. Look at this. It does work, kinda. Something's clearly wrong about what I've written, but some part of it's working. Look. That's sick. How far down can the player go? Quite far. Alright. Demotivation is a real bitch for learning new things. You've just got to, like, realize that you're only ever better for having a mistake and then learning from it, you know? You're never worse from making a mistake. The worst thing you can do is make a mistake and then give up, honestly. What you really want when you're learning is to make mistakes that that are within your reach, you know, that you can just sort of understand, and then you can learn from those. You'll never learn just, like, blankly memorizing shit. Like, a lot of the times the stuff that I'm writing or the stuff I'm doing is from years of making mistakes, you know? And I know why stuff is bad, because I've done it that way, and it's made a horrible mistake, and it's set me back, and I've learned from it. But you're never going to be a master from the start, and thinking that you're going to be a master from the start is going to unmotivate you to the point that you're never going to bother learning. If you already knew how to do the skill, then you'd never feel progress. Yeah, you'd just be plateaued. That's boring. Plateauing's boring. That's why it's fun to learn new things. Anyway, why's this not working? Let's have a think. So, the left thing I think is working. The right thing is working. I think the X and Y are inverted. Maybe. Because I think that's probably the issue I'm going to run into the most in this game. If the player's position Y is larger than the position Y plus the playable space dot size Y, then set the Y to the playable space position Y. Hang on, I want to quickly do what Donut made a suggestion of earlier. What was it? Input physics collisions render. Alright, perfect. Whoops. Movement system, action responder. Chuck that right at the top. Chuck the movement at the top. Chuck the movement near the top. I'm sure that I can reorder these a little bit better, but we'll just move stuff around a little bit more like this. That looks good. Dude. Fire keepers, yeah. Ooh. Oh. Here we go. Funny little errors. Alright. You realize for this particular use case, axis-aligned box float might be more suitable than rectangle float because it holds a min-max instead of position size, so the code ends up being a bit more symmetrical. Fair enough. That's good advice. Thank you, Donut. Alright, check it out. It's not perfect, obviously. You can sort of squish out for half a second. It's kind of cute. I don't hate it. It's kind of funny, but look at that. There we go. Anyway, we can start fixing this now. But the basics are there, right? And now we can start hacking away and making it a bit more better, right? So for my human soul, I'm thinking that we set this to some variable. Well, actually, what is this? And we start replacing that. Replace, 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 replace. Similarly, I'm going to do this with this one. Dude, I love Dark Souls music. So this is just a little easier to read now. Pause X, pause Y. What are you using for the graphics? This is... Well, I'm using libdonut, which is a wrapper sitting on top of SDL2, which I suppose may in this example be using OpenGL. I think it uses OpenGL, yeah. I don't want to get too deep because otherwise I'll never make any progress. I'll spend forever learning the graphics library instead of learning how to make a good game. You tried to push through during a project on 3rd year because you were the only coder on it. You started getting headaches whenever you saw code. Soon enough. This is gone now, but damn, it felt horrid back then. That's fair, yeah. It's mental blocks. It happens. Oh. I think... I don't know, this doesn't really help you here, but like... Also, not really for me. Only like sort of recently. But for a lot of people it helps to have someone more senior like guide you through the like hard steps. I didn't get that when I was like a tiny babby trying to learn to code, but I've kind of got it now with Donut helping me out. What? Like 15 years too late to teach me how to program, but that's fine. But with this sort of thing, if you can find anyone more senior to help you out, to like help you push through, it's 1,000 times easier because you can go to someone for advice instead of feeling like you have to take control, and it's a huge industry to try and dive into. It's impossible, honestly. Anyway, playable space dot position or toolless space pos. Is this vec2? No, this is a rectangle. Dot position. Vec2. The game's covering the Steam. Oh, thank you for telling me. Sorry. I mean, you're just missing out on a bit of this. Alright. You've gone back into game dev lately. You've been getting into Unity. You've hated it every time you've tried it before, but it suddenly clicked this time. That's really good to hear. What sort of project have you been doing? All right, fine. Here you go. You happy now, Donut? Are you smiling? Your hands out your trousers. I hope so. Here we go.
Maybe I should just not spend the needing resources on that.
Hmm. That's not quite right. What have I done? Playable space X, playable space Y, player space X, player space Y, player space X. Size. Oh, is this a vec 4? No, this is a rectangle, isn't it?
Yes.
There we go. What's it called? Position. Here we go. Alright, it's just like a tiny bit more readable. Not like immensely different, but it's a little better.
This one is
Jesus wept. Every time you tried to game dev before, you've dived into an idea you've had, got overwhelmed and confused and quit. So you've just been making clones of games so far, and Googling if you have to. You're making an asteroids clone. I think that's the best way to do it. Instead of like trying to immediately like fucking dive with the sharks, it's much easier just to go and scoop up a few little goldfish or something. Plus, it's like it's much better. I don't know. I find it much nicer if you can actually achieve a goal. If you set yourself a goal and it takes like years, you just never finish it. But if you set yourself a goal and it takes 3 days, you finish it most of the time, right? And then that's like guaranteed progress. Googling's great, yeah. Google as much as you can. Alright, anyway, I think I just need to move this restricted movement system afterwards. In game. After physics. It's more of like a fix, you know, like it's a little patch. So it should run afterwards. Make sure to remind me, chat, if I accidentally leave the game open for too long. Oh, shit. I've broken something.
Wait, roll your thing.
Why have I broken that? Hang on.
Yeah, I did. It was like 3 circles next to each other.
Why is that not okay? Oh, it's because it's, this should be like this, shouldn't it? Right? Made new variables that never set them back. Can I not do that? This feels like a C++y thing. Yeah, there you go. Alright, cool. Let's fix the weird, like, jittering. I guess it was jittering just because it was applying the physics after it had fixed it. So it would fix it for the last frame, but not for the current frame, if you get me. But now it's, like, smoothly lining you up against that wall. Beautiful stuff. Let's actually make it, like, much larger. Template factory. Let's make the size of the window... No, it's in game, isn't it? No, it's in components. No, it's in template factory. Yeah. I don't need linear motion. Oh, it's this. It's for whatever reason my IDE has decided that this wants to be here. Yeah, that's much more readable, of course. Great. Let's make it like 256 by 512. Is that right? It's just a bit bigger. Alright, dope. That's a little bit more like a game, isn't it? Oh, it's way too tall. Put a comma to have it format into a new line. This is a comma. Put a comma inside the thing at the end. Oh, after desired, the equivalent of desired speed, like here. Ah, there we go. Cool. Asking folks to teach you is the best way to learn things. Yeah, no, I completely agree. That's great. Ah, this is the song I wanted to listen to, dude. Guess it hasn't helped you the latest attempts as related to TF2 plugins or VScript. Have you ever what languages did you do? Because TF2 stuff's impossible. That's like really hard. That's tough stuff. If you've made progress in that, you've got quite a good skill there. You've got something really good to polish. Actually, hang on. Let's just let's do this properly now. Let's do this properly. Nah, fuck doing it properly. 64 multiplied by like 8. That's gonna be 400 and 512. That's gonna be the number it just was, isn't it? Yep. Let's try 7. Look, even better if you add a comma to restricted movement too. Yep, okay. Look at that, because everything's done in orders of 16 by 16. It clips nicely. Let's make this 64 times a bit more.
Is he trying to get?
Let's make this like that, maybe like that. Maybe it'd be nice to the playable area is like a square. I don't know. Can I just make it a square? Maybe that makes the most sense. I know Touhou isn't a square, but like if it's a square, doesn't that give you a few more like design options? The HUD is a little smaller, sure. The player's definitely too small for this size of screen. The size in pixels, so you'd have to multiply by 64. That was just a conversion used by the other project. I was multiplying by 64 to get a number times by 64. Anyway, this looks cool. I think the player needs to be like twice the size for this size of screen though, right? So maybe I was right about that. When I was like thinking about different sizes of characters, maybe 32 by 32 is perfectly fine. Oh, Majula? Dude. This playlist. It has all my favorite songs. All 2 of them. Textures. Player32.png. Let's try this. This is something I mentioned like a while ago when I was using a sprite. I was saying like, oh shit, we should like try different size sprites just to see. Yeah, you can see Miss WouHou here. Honestly, 32 by 32 is like quite a big sprite, but if we have the playable field to be this big, maybe it's fine. Should I go bigger? No, that'd be silly, right? Maybe the screen's just too big, though. I feel like the resolution is too high for, like, a Game Boy game. Not that this is a Game Boy game, but, like... I think I was thinking of, like, a pixel art aesthetic. This is, like, far too big. Let's go into Game. I've got somewhere, like, the size of the screen. Render resolution. Alright. Here we go. Window width. Let's like halve that. Let's do 320 by 240. 32 by 32 would be definitely too big. I mean, this is what you just saw was 32 by 32. I'm actually going to just keep these things right now up here. Window. Just for now. Make it easier to modify everything. Oh, you don't need to do that in this language, huh? Maybe static. Sure. Just while I'm fiddling with it now. Because there's a few other places that ask for these numbers, but they don't seem to be right. Float convert when arrow to an int. Wait, are these ints? Oh, whoops. There we go. Alright. Just makes it a little easier to modify, I think. Tick rate 60. Yikes. Make that 120, brother. I'll have to mess with that. Window width by window height. I don't know how I feel about the resize thing. You can set window resizable to true. Okay. Const X per float. Could you remind me again what const expr is? Oh shit, he's tiny. Oh, I made it 320 by 320. Majula, dude. Okay, we do 320 by 240, and then we go back to the 16 by 16 character. Alright, this This is what I want. But then again, if I do this and then I have 3D models in the background and they look kind of like small, tiny. This is lovely. Can I make it, you said I can resize it, right? This is stupid. It should keep the same, it should enforce the scaling of the game. But this is cool, don't it? Yeah, it's definitely scaling the pixels properly. These look normal when they move around. They're a little jittery, honestly. Why isn't the movement as smooth as it should be? This is 240 FPS. This looks a little shite. Something to mess with. What is this? You're getting cut off there in a bit. What about full screen? Dope. The screen is in the middle. What does that mean? Anyway, I need to just double check and make sure that I've got the other numbers lined up. Window width, window height. World viewport size. Can I modify the viewports then, you reckon? Why are you doing 15 by 15 and not multiples of 2? That's probably what's confusing you. No progress in TF2 coding whatsoever, while in vocational you did Unity. Unity's a good one to work with. It can be complicated, or it can be very simple. And that's a very, very good learning tool. The worst is when you have a learning tool that like you have to discard because it's too simple, you know? It's nice to have something that you could stick with if you wanted. Anyway. Window viewport position. What's the point of this? Why is this not just 0 by 0? Can you explain that to me? If the viewport is 450 tall, it needs to be 15 to match the height of 480. Sorry, Donut, why is... Can you explain to me what the viewport is then, if it's not the viewport? Why is the viewport and the screen size a different thing? Or is the viewport in your thing like the playable window? Ah, okay, that's confused the shit out of me. I thought this is like the camera. Oh, good night, Robson. Thank you for popping in today. You should... I mean, I shouldn't tell you what to do, but you should consider taking up some, like, easy tutorials. Like Ray, you know? Like, see if you can make, like, asteroids or something. It might make you feel good. I reckon it's something you could manage not too badly. Alright, so your viewport thing is... Yeah, because that was confusing me. I thought this is, like, some special drawing BS.
He's also spinning. Spinning like a pussy.
Alright, hang on, because you had a few different viewport things. You had screen viewport and world viewport. What was the difference? World viewport is... Wait, hang on. Why are you not cool and have the terminal on the right? So I have more screen space? You want this? That seems almost objectively worse. What's wrong with you? Hey, Antondu. You're crazy. Oh, on another monitor, because I'm streaming this. I don't want to, you know, I just want to keep this nice and simple for the sake of streaming. Also, having like a 1440p side monitor really annoys me. I really want to have a 1440p main monitor now. Like at work, I do not have enough space for my IDEs. Anyway. Donut, explain to me, alright? Why you've separated screen viewport and world viewport. Is screen viewport the whole thing, and world viewport the small window that the player can move around in? Please explain. I'm right then. Okay. Cool. That was confusing me. Cool. Poggers. Window height. In which case, then yeah, window's correct. Window. Render resolution. Why do these need to be different things? Window STL window hidden. You get a better understanding of how the... You should see what happens if you draw a solid rectangle to the size of the entire screen. Okay. Yo. Filter of chaos. Can I draw a rectangle? Float. Came from autocomplete. Oh. Okay. Are y'all feeling like a bit culty today, chat? Should we, like set fire to something? I don't know. Rectangle float. This just needs to have a, size and a width, surely. Size, wait, hang on. That's not right, is it? Position, okay. We'll do 0, 0. I love this song. So sad. And then size can be 640, which is hard code 640 by 480 for now to show your example. What's wrong? Fitting C++ programming music. Hang on, I thought you said you had a draw function for drawing. Oh, it's a rectangle instance. Oh yeah, it's not this size anymore. Thank you. I need to do rectangle instance. What do you need? It needs position, size, angle, origin. Oh wait, all that stuff's default. Position is needed though, right? Oh, it's just in the wrong order. Okay, how about that? That should be fine. I'm sure it has some default like color, right? Like black or something. What's wrong? Try building again. What's wrong? Could not include file stl config h. That's not right. Is it the new stuff I added, or is it because I did something weird earlier? Is it this? It's not this. Okay. Game. What's wrong in game? Something's having issues. File format. What the fuck? Something is afoot. But it's not actually going to tell me what's afoot. Entity. Main.c++. You've got a bad stl video.h from the autocomplete. What? Oh. What a fantastic workspace this Visual Studio Code is. Oh, there you go. Ah, I see, Donut. That's cool. Oh, that's actually sick, dude. Hang on. Here's you confirm the autocomplete. It's the IDE that input a shitty autocomplete. What's the point of something being automated if it instantly bricks your system? Spooky music. No, this is really cool actually. Is there no way to actually cap the window? Like the Windows window, the actual thing that I'm looking at? Or do you do that by disabling auto and then having it as a setting that you can adjust in game? Here we go. Yeah, something's definitely shit about this movement. Don't know what it is. Can you repeat that? You see how there's purple borders? Is there a way to actually force the Windows window clip to this without all this extra crap around the sides? Not as far as you're aware. Okay, that's fine. I guess I just disable... I do what like Visual Boy Advanced did. You need the extra crap for full screen. That's true. That's true, actually. I mean, I might as well make it black while I'm here, right? It's been using this weird default color for a while. Let's just do black. I'm sure there's a default function for this, right? Alright, here we go. Perfect. You can't see this very well, can you? Let's do this. Oh, Abyss Watchers. Alright, here we go. Yeah, that works. And then full screen, full screen? Oh, I haven't done the keyboard input yet. Of course. Dude, this like X and Y thing being flipped, or the Y being flipped is going to really mess with my brain for a while. Okay, cool. So let's change the, where is it? Game. Components. Template factory. Let's change the playable space to be 240 minus 16, I guess. No, wait. Hang on. Oh, I need to open an actual calculator in this. 208 by what is it again? Oh wait, hang on. 320 minus 32. 288. It's fixed you didn't load it with flip vertically. Oh, do I actually need to do the flip vertically thing? Okay. Hang on, where do I put flip vertically? Sprite ID, Sprite Atlas. Image LDR constructor. Oh, is that what I was about to write earlier? Like that? First non-designated initializer is here. Add image LDR options. Oh, I need to add actual options like this. Okay, never mind. It wasn't what I was going to do. You need another thing for that. I wouldn't have reached this. Perfect. Thanks, Donut. What is this? Old Monk. Sounds like a beer. Alright, this is slightly off. Actually, it's just the top that's slightly off. No, wait, the top might be fine, actually. Yeah, check it out. I don't know why I've stuck with this 16 by 16 thing, but I'm sort of pointlessly losing space around the side of the screen for that. That's where you add the cool border art. You can omit the type name and abbreviate it to flip vertically because it knows the type of constructor parameter. Cool. Alright, anyway, I'm going to make the padding more like 8 pixels by 8 pixels, and then 240 by 480? Was it 240 by 480? 320 by 240. Oh. And then we do minus 16. You can omit the type name. Oh, you can do it like this. Cool. Dude, Demon Souls are some scary looking buddy bosses in it, huh? Oh, here we go. Look. That sprite is vertically constrained. Oh. I guess I should include the sprite's bounding box in this, right? Because I kind of wanted them to actually stick. I mean, they're sticking to the walls nicely. Isn't it kind of funny that when you hold left against the wall, you move slower than if you just hold up and down? You'd think it wouldn't have any influence. But it's like you're sticking to the wall, like you're gripping to it. Also, I'm going to change this from white to something that isn't going to burn my eyes out. Where did I put that? White. Oh, I think I do that in game, didn't I? I thought why didn't Control F find it? No, hang on. I do it in here. It's a rectangle, isn't it? Oh, I'm not setting a color. What is tint color? What type are you? Color. Well, how do I set a color customly? Jesus wept. What is all this? Ah, RGBA. All right, give me 1 second. Yeah, I know it's the diagonal fix, don't worry. Color picker. Jesus wept. How did someone appear above Google's own color picker? What rubbish is this? Are you all feeling holy today, chat? Sounds like you need a better ad blocker. I think it's an ad on Google. I think it's just a regular ass website. Oh, hang on, this didn't work. Everything's an ad on Google. You're hilarious, dude. That's a really good one. No one tell Donut he's on an Amazon sponsored website. He'll flip. Why isn't this tint color thing working? Do I need to explicitly set an alpha? Or do I need to set it as a float? Or what? Why is it white still? I mean, obviously it should be below the player, but it seems to work for now. Oh, hang on, this is drawing something on the player. Hang on. Okay, I guess this does matter then. Never mind. No, that's not it. You probably have a white rectangle in game. Wait, did I have a white rectangle? I think this is the rectangle, dude. This is the only time I'm drawing a rectangle. Is it not dot tint color? Is it something else? No, it's probably that. Draw a tint from 0, 0 to 320 by 240 of these RGBs. Try commenting it out. Yeah? Oh, to see if it is this. Yeah, it's the tint color thing. Do your tints, are they not RGB 255? Are they RGB 1 to 0 to 1? Maybe. Maybe that's it. Oh yeah. Great. Love that. How do I do that? What's the maths for that? It's like just divided by 255 or what? That can't be right, can it? Maybe it is. No, don't divide. You should multiply it. Dividing is bad for the processor. You'll make it sad. It'll be really sad. Don't do it. You're about to divide. Stop it. No, my performance. Okay, that works. Yeah. Poggers. Check it out. It's like a game demo or something. Still feel like this is a bit big though. So dividing's fine. You've changed your tune a lot, huh, Donut? What's wrong? And maybe this isn't too small. Like if the player's like this, Put my mouse in the way. Actually, you know what? Let's not put my mouse in the way. Let's just draw like a rectangle. What did I decide was the playable space? I know this is now becoming a bit convoluted, but this is for the sake of like tinkering. This isn't going to stay this way, don't worry. Hey, negativity. I know, doing it. I'm tired. I'm very tired. You're a really good punching bag. I can almost hear the oof as I punch you in the tummy. How are you, negativity? I'm okay, thank you. It's components. Template factory. Here we go. This bloody thing. Restricted movement is actually going to be 320 minus 16. 320 minus 16 is 304. So 304 divided by 16 is 19. Oh, whoops. 304 divided by 64 is 4.75. What the fuck? I don't like that. How about we make this more like 64 multiplied by... No, Minus 64. Minus 64. Yeah, I get it, don't it? Alright, that's maybe too small. I mean, you can't really see this, can you, chat? I'm not going to go full screen again. We can just do this. That's not enough playable space. Let's give him another 64. That's too much playable space. Alright. 64. Minus 32. Hey, Frank. You can make the start window larger by setting the window width height. Okay. Thank you. This might be fine. The HUD doesn't need to be huge. Like, I know Toho, half the bloody screen is like a HUD. But I don't think that's necessary here. I'm wondering if it being such small, like, pixel art might make it a little difficult to convey the gameplay, though. You know? Hello, Woolham. Would you like to code the board game Cascadia in Java for me and make a bot? What the heck is Cascadia? It's a board game. You're incredible. How about I make the playable space a square in the middle of the bloody screen? So, what's 240 minus 16? That's 224? So we just do 224, 224. Yeah, it is 224. Bam, quick maths. You're so smart. Alright, I like that. 224 by 224. And then we just need to... With this thing I'm doing... we need to include the player doesn't really have a size. Should it be for anything with a sprite? Because then I can grab the sprite size as well. I'm trying to think in my head of something that would be restricted to the screen but not have a sprite, but that seems really stupid. I'm feeling like most things are going to have sprites, right? So if I chuck in sprite as well... Oh my god, this entity thing's amazing. Alright. So not only here are we going to have like an X and Y, so the reason that the player is like perfectly sticking to like the top and the left and the right here... Hang on. You see this, right? You see how they're like actually clamping to the very edge? You see that? Even though we actually set the border to be like 8 pixels, it's because the sprite is 16 pixels, so on all 4 sides, it's going halfway off screen, technically. If you get me. Do you get me, fam? And the sprite origin is 0, 0. So I need to work out... is it radius still? It's not really a circle, but it technically functions as a circle here, because I only need to get the top, bottom, left, right. Anyway, I need to add in the sprite size here. And I'm trying to think, there's not going to be any example where something going off screen isn't going to have a sprite, in which case maybe I can write another function for that. But anyway, here I'm just checking the player's x off the side. I should also do the player x minus the width of the sprite divided by 2. Because then I get that extra little chunk, and the player actually snaps to the side, if you see me. So I'm going to make... It should be something more generic like shape. Besides getting the size from sprite ID, we'd have to go through the sprite atlas. Is that right? Should I have a fucking shape? Is that true? Can I not just access the sprite's fucking width in this function? Scale. That's 1 by 1. Origin. Sprite idea. Should I not just add... Should I add like bounding box, maybe? To sprite. I feel like sprites should usually have like a sprite size, but then I can't fuck around with scale, right? Because then I guess I could do it multiplied by scale. Actually, that's probably fine. I don't think it's too stupid storing it here, is it? Just don't tell Donut. I know he's watching, all right? But I'm just gonna chuck like a fucking. You had like an example that wasn't rectangle earlier, right? Was it called like bounding box? Oh, axis aligned box? No. Donut, a box. He loves his boxes. This is fucking... You could also have a scale component. Axis aligned box. 2 and then by float. I'm going to call this collision hull to represent my knowledge of TF2's world, where it has a collision hull that interacts with the world. The world in this case being a small box. Much like office workers, am I right, chat? Dab. Technically it's me as well, I guess. Anyway, you could have a scale component. Oh yeah, I guess so. I just kind of put everything in here that was relevant to drawing the sprite. But yeah, I could put scale in a different component. That's fair. I'm going to write that down. Consider moving this to its own component. Because not everything's going to need to scale. Unless... Collision hill would be a perfect candidate for a component. Oh, actually. Well, I'm thinking in my head that every sprite needs a collision hull. I guess like shit in the HUD doesn't need a collision hull. The collision hull doesn't need to know anything about sprites. Yeah, you're right. But, on the flip side of that, what if I accidentally forget to add the collision hull to something with a sprite and I wonder why it gets fucking blasted off screen? To what extent do you want to separate stuff before you start having to manually write 1,000 lines just to create something? Ugh. Like, I could make this movement input, this could be like 4 different components, you know? That's the reason for the template factory. Yeah, but when writing the template factory, you know? I don't think we're on the same point here. Anyway, collision hull being its own thing, I'm wondering. This is implying that the collision hull is the sprite size, which doesn't have to be the case. Dude, I'm just gonna make a fucking sprite size, alright? We can refactor this later. I can't be asked. I have too little time in my... like 50 more years on this planet to worry about this. Sprite size. Where are we making a sprite? Templates. Fantastic. Sprite. Sprite. Oh, I guess I could do it like this. Hmm. I feel a bit like a villain right now. Um, what's wrong here? Dude, it's the dog music. Hmm. Yeah, we can do it back 2 for now. Sad dog music. What? What's wrong? Isn't this what happened in the first time? Not to be overly prescriptive. You are being a little overly prescriptive. Sprite size is an axis aligned box. Is it? Alright, I'm gonna redo this. This is gonna be... No, actually, that's fine. Axis aligned box 2. Flip. What else do you need? Do I need to have a width and a height? Do I need to include you? You want to be included? Donut, maybe. Maybe he wants this. Oh, okay. How does an axis aligned box work? Is the min like bottom left, I guess, and max top right? How does this work with the origin point, though? Do I not still need to divide all this shit by 2? This definitely needs to be with sprite then, right? Oh, actually, this could be size. No, but then size doesn't work with scale. Base size, maybe. I bet that didn't rename it in the other file, did it? Oh, it did. Holy shit. How does this work with the, if I make this like, fuck. Is it, maybe it's from the origin point. Maybe it doesn't matter. You can find it from the origin, you could do, yeah, but then I have to keep track of the origin here. You know? I think this should just be the size of the actual PNG, right? Well, if you do -8 and then +8, and I change the size of the sprite to 16, oh, so to 32, then I have to change this to 16 and 16. Which feels weird that I'm having to do calculation when the computer should be doing it. Not that it's difficult calculation, and this is not the hardest example. If you assume your position's at the origin, you don't have to add anything extra. What if my position isn't always at the origin? What if on like some object I have the position like kind of in the middle but near the bottom? Then this doesn't work. And then I'd have to calculate like here to there. Then you move the origin. What? I'm just gonna keep this as the size of the sprite. So the min will be 0, 0. And the max will be 16, 16. Doesn't have to be at 0.5, 0.5. Well, yeah, but if I move it, then I'd also have to adjust these min-max value. Do you understand what I'm getting at with this? Like this, to me, is saying that this is a box that's 16 by 16. And then using the origin above it, I can calculate shit like bounding box distance. In the computer can do that for me. You know? Doesn't matter where the origin is. You know? Or am I missing something with that? This seems very sensible to me. I'm just saying this is the size of the image, because apparently the sprite doesn't track it. It should just be a Vec2. What's the difference? Like, what is this much heavier? This is just a Vec2 with different names, right? This seems fine, doesn't it? It's a bit more heavy though. It's 2 Vec2s. Oh yeah, I guess because I'm implying that this is always going to be 0, 0, right? Then there's not much point. Yeah, no, you're completely right on that. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. I think Vec2 for this works for me. I don't have to say you're afloat. You're fine. What's wrong? Do you want to be an F? You want to be a .f? Is that what you're thinking? GLM Vec2. Oh, it's because I haven't changed the original thing. Fine. Vec2. There we go. I think you will save. Yeah, there we go. Alright, this is all I want. I just need to keep track of this somewhere, because apparently this isn't being tracked anywhere else. Maybe I can even... I think I'm opening a file up here somewhere. Maybe I can do that. Image LDR? Oh, that's being done somewhere else. Whatever. Most things are going to be a stable size anyway. So it's 16 by 16 if I'm pixeling stuff properly. That's fine. Restricted movement system. Okay. It took 5 years, but we're back here. Alright? Alright. We're going to do the bounding box thing again, though, I think. Are we? Yeah, you can save the image LDR in a variable before you pipe it to sprite LS and call get width and get height. Oh, that's fantastic. Does that work? Graphics image LDR. That's this crap. It's not LGR, though. I'm a little sad about. Can I just do auto? I haven't been autoing lately. I should be autoing more. I completely forgot it was a thing. So I can do image LDR. Can I just chuck it in here? Yeah. Save it in a variable before you put it in the atlas and call get width. Hang on. Get out of here. Ah, perfect. Now it's even more automated. Brilliant. This, I'm sure I can refactor into some nice factory that'll generate this all for me, because this is probably not necessary. You stopped doing auto for libdonut just so you wouldn't have to think about it. What do you mean? No, I'm confused. Anyway, sorry. Back to restricted movement thing. So we also need to get the sprite dot, what is it? Base size dot x. So that's 16. And then we need to what? Multiply that by the origin? Because the origin's from 0 to 1 in terms of scale. So this is now sprite. Sprite radius width? No, sprite half width. Maybe. Auto sprite half width. Huh? Oh, it's unused. Okay. Sprite half height. So here, what we're actually going to do, if transform x, this is now getting a little messy, but let's just see if we can get it working. So if the x minus, yes, then I'm checking a little bit in advance to the left. Then we set it to the position. That's for x. Hang on. That doesn't seem quite right. Sprite half width. Wait, hang on. Why are you a Vec2? Why is x is a float? Do I need to maybe say you're a float? Maybe you prefer that. Weird that it autoed to that. Wait, no conversion from vec2 to float. Why are you a vec2? It's a float multiplied by a... Oh, it's origins of... dot x. Oh, of course. Dot x dot y. This could be auto. How about that? Alright, cool. These are floats. I'm going to rename it from transform to sprite x, because right now that's how I'm going to be grouping it. Sprite x, sprite y. You know what? Let's go even further. Say sprite center x, sprite center y. It's going to help you think about it. Because this is correct then. So if the center x minus sprite half width is less than the playable space, then the x is the playable space dot position plus sprite half width. Half height, half width. I think that's sensible. And then on the other side, if the x plus sprite half width is larger than the size of the screen, then set it to the size of the screen minus the sprite half width. And then with height, if it's going off the bottom of the screen, if the sprite going off the bottom of the screen, set it to the bottom of the screen. Is this 2? No. You snoozy. Have you stopped gaming?
Can we have hot chocolate later?
You know a hot chocolate, yeah. I can finish soon.
No, I think do it. We're still filling out to get your attention.
Make your hot chocolate. What else am I doing? Oh, here we go. If the y... What have I done here? I think it's just like this. If the y plus the half height, then set it to the position plus this minus this. That might be wrong though. Let's see what it says. I'm feeling like that might be wrong. But let's see what it says. Oh. Never mind, it's perfectly fine. Okay, perfect. See, look at that. I'm now taking into account the size of the image itself. And it's correctly sticking 8 pixels out from the wall, from all the angles. I mean, I can't really check the right, but I'm assuming it's... I shouldn't assume it works, but... probably works. I can check that quite quickly by going to the template factory. And instead of making it... No, that's correct. I can do 320 minus 16, I think. Was it? No, that's not it. What's the size of the screen? Oh, wait, that's height. Oh, 304. This should be sticking to the right the same way. Let's check it, though. Yeah, check it out. That looks good to me, doesn't it? How do you all think, chat? So look at that. Just like that, we've added this new component to be able to stick something within a box. So if we could maybe even use this with like bullet physics somehow. You know, if we want the bullet to stay attached to some portion of the screen for some reason, or some particles or something, we can extend this. I think this is a lot neater than what we had with WouHou. We were just sort of hard coding shit everywhere. Which I have done now, but I can move this around quite easily. This is just an example. So I'm actually going to chuck in the... How do I want to do the playable space? How about I chuck in the actual rectangle itself, like this? I can pass this in. Where are you? You don't need to be like this. So when we're creating the player in game, wherever that is, here we go. Now make it an arbitrary shape. No. Here we go. And now we can modify this a little bit easier. What was it? You said I can start the game in a different size, right? If I change some stuff in here. So we'll make it ×2. So this should start the game in double resolution. Right? Go on, you can do it. Oh, have I forgot a fucking semicolon because this is from the 1950s. Yep, there we go. Oh, fucking... There we go. Okay, cool. It now starts in double resolution. Looking good, Joker. And, okay, so this is what I actually wanted to do earlier. I wanted the playable space to actually be in the center, right? So right now it's stuck to the left like Toho, but I kind of like the idea of it being centered, like boom. Because it's easy to test with now, actually. So we're going to say, I'm going to save this here. Float, playable. I'm going to make it a square, dude. I think square I like the idea of a square because it means you can have shit from all angles, and if it doesn't work, we can change it. You know, that's fine. So we'll have a playable width. The size of this will be the playable width, and the position. I'm also going to have a buffer, like window buffer const somewhere. I'm just going to chuck it here for now. Window. Do I want that? No, I'm going to keep it down here for now. Float playable buffer equals 8.f. So keep an 8 border around the screen. Play within a square of this width, height. What's wrong? Oh, it's not used. Okay, so we need to get the... Because I want to have it down the half of the screen. We want to get position X is going to be the buffer plus screen width. Window width? Well, it's not window width, is it? It'll be, wait, hang on. Yeah. Window width divided by 2. We want halfway through the window. We can actually store this quickly. Float window center X. Window center Y, just to get something written. Window height. Center X, center Y. So the playable buffer. Let's actually start it invertedly. So the position will be window center X minus playable width needs to be halved to 2. Float playable width center equals this divided by 2. So we're going to get the center of the center. So it's the center of the screen minus the center of the playable width plus... Do I need to add the buffer? I actually don't think I do. The buffer's really for making this, because the width is actually going to be the window height minus playable buffer multiplied by 2. There you go. So, wonder what this is going to look like. Ah, actually I guess it's still the playable width. Playable width, let's call this playable size. And we'll call this playable size. Whoops. Fuck's sake. Yeah, I was thinking about calling it screen width earlier, but window width to me mentions explicitly the Windows window. Don't know if that's right, but it's what I'm saying at least. Alright, yeah, look at that. That has worked beautifully, I think. It's about a thumb on that side, and about a thumb on that side, so I'd say that's working beautifully. I don't know, how do you feel about like the centered Toho window? I'm gonna pass. What am I gonna pass? I can store this shit in const stuff, so I'm gonna do this for now. Some statics. Don't tell anyone, alright? People are gonna flip their shit. Oh my god, what is he doing? He's littering. Oh god, he's littering. Oh no, it'd be a bit hard to squeeze the pud in. Yeah, I'm trying to think about... I'm just trying to experiment, you know, try different things without... I'm sure I could adapt a HUD to this. Who knows? The HUD doesn't have to be Toho HUD. It can be WouHou HUD. I could do shit with icons. I'm a material designer. I'm sure I can do stuff with symbols, glyphs, whatever. We'll just have to see. I just like the idea of it being centered. The Toho being to the sides always kind of annoyed me, because it's full screen, you end up looking a bit to the left. And this is my game. Let's rename this. Playable size. Window center X. Window center Y. Playable size center. Alright. I am absolutely triple certain that I could chuck this stuff in some sort of window utilities class and only include this header where necessary. But that is an over-optimization because for now it doesn't matter. But it will at some point and I'll complain and I'll stop doing this and I'll go back to Osu and none of you will care anymore. So it's all fine. Don't worry about it. You just have to stick with me for the short term. Alright? What was I looking? Screen rendering system. I wanted to draw a rectangle. Was I Why was I doing this twice? Weird. Okay, anyway. I wanted to draw a rectangle over explicitly the playable part of the screen. So we've got the background, actually. This can be full black. Actually, no, this can be fucking... Alice Blue. Dude, I hope this is Alice from Toho. I'd be upset if it's not. What are you so upset about? Is it because of this? Oh, it's because of this. Oh, fine. Alright, we're going to do this. I'm also going to draw this position. Game dot. Do I need to include game in here? The only complaint is the weird bit where window width is equal to window width times 2. What have I done? This bit? This is so the screen starts in double resolution because it's fucking tiny. Naming of window width is off. Is it? Is it because you want it to be called Screen Donuts? Or am I missing something? Anyway, I'm going to chuck this in some other class called, like, Constants. Because I like having a Constants class. I'm going to call this, Actually, no, this should be in... Meh. Fuck it, I'm going to make it fucking... Chuck it in common. Yeah. That's right. X equals X multiplied by 2 doesn't make sense. Sorry, what's your problem here? Is it that in this example here I've multiplied it by 2 so I can see the screen? Or is it here? I am misunderstanding you. What have I done wrong? Window... Is there a variable somewhere with a stupid name? This is just for an example. Don't worry about it. This is fine. This is okay. Don't worry. What am I doing? Fucking hell. Oh, I was gonna draw the thing. Here we go. So this probably is common, right? It's in system, right? So we got screen. What did I call it? Window buffer. Position, yeah, buffer. Playable buffer. Playable buffer. Size is playable size by playable size. Here we go. Oh, here we go, perfect. It's not at the right position, I guess, but we can fix that quite easily. What's the fucking game? Here we go. What was I doing this in? Player. No, I did this in game. I set this here. Oh. I should store this in a constant somewhere. That makes way more sense. I'll rename it. Bloody common playable space. Const expr rectangle of float is. I feel like maybe this shit could be even like private. Maybe this stuff doesn't even need to be known. You know? I wonder. Anyway, playable space. And then I go to my screen rendering thing just for now. And this can be playable space. Oh, hang on actually. Can I just draw this rectangle directly maybe? Rectangle instance. Can I pass in a rectangle to this? Perhaps not. I don't want to do this. Position is rectangle. Is this position, and then size is size. Using the magical power of maths. Ah, look at that. Isn't that cool? Because that was like something that kind of annoyed me with WouHou. It was like we kind of like hard coded the size of the window and shit. So like trying to make stuff perfectly match to it was like a bit of a headache. But just having it as like a rectangle, that's lovely. Look at that. Alice blue, by the way, very bright. Maybe dark goldenrod. Ooh, go on then. Lovely. That works. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Fantastic. I reckon we could fit a HUD in here. We've got. I like the idea of doing it like RuneScape maybe, where you have like little bars and stuff. I feel like we could do something. Have like pillar art and stuff. I wonder. Because one of the ideas we had was that we'd have like this like enemy spawn wave system, and we could show it down one side like a bunch of flags or something. I wonder. Like your progress. I think this size matches the game size quite nicely. Sorry. The concept of window size is predetermined to mean the size of the Windows window you're rendering. Using the same name for a different concept leads to ambiguity. Yeah? Yeah, no, you're right. I'll rename it. That's fair enough. I forget that we're leaving all this like black stuff around the outside, like the general border. It's a quick fix. I'll call it screen width and screen height. And instead of window center, we can have screen center. And screen center. Anywhere else it says window, this should be fine. There we go. That's good. I like that. That's cool. I like what we've done there. have another quick peek. Perfect. Yeah. No, that's you got the right call, Dinner. I must repeat myself. I'm very tired. I should go to bed. I'm going to go to bed now, actually. Otherwise, I'm going to keep bullying you. But I only have so much patience in my day. I've been up since fuck knows when, working all day. I've been on the train for hours. The last thing I need is for someone to nitpick about the word window versus screen. Like, come on. But fair enough. It's a good call. I'll change it. But this is cool. I like the progress you've done today. Is anyone else in chat still alive? Is anyone there? There must be someone, right? Someone must be alive. Out there, somewhere. You are there. Okay, poggers. Well, do you like the stuff that we did today, chat? We've implemented, if you were listening, maybe, we've added another component that allows you to restrict something to a particular rectangle on the screen. I've got this calculated nicely, and it's being drawn here through the magics of maths automatically. The sprite can have a size and width stored alongside it, so the thing can be capped perfectly to the edges, beautifully, just like that. That's it, really. I guess we did some refactoring minor. That's cool, isn't it? What do you think? We'll get back to this another day. We'll do some... we'll start implementing some more components. I don't know what next, but I'm excited. With the world of components, we've got like so many we need to do, so many dozens, maybe. That the more we bash out quicker, the quicker we got like a sort of engine to start building and seeing what we can do with, you know? It's fun. Do some pixel art, see how things are going to start looking. I think like the first goal should be to try and sort of loosely replicate some of the playability from WouHou 1, but with a lot more flexibility. So, you know, the ability to shoot bullets and shit. But I'm not going to like recreate the file reading thing right now. That's horrible. I don't know what I was doing. But, you know, we can have it so where I click on the screen, it'll spawn a fucking enemy that flies at the player or something just to test it. Anyway, I look forward to seeing what we come up with next. I hope you all enjoyed the stream. I'll be back on Wednesday. Maybe I'll even work on this in my own time tomorrow. We'll see. We'll be back on Wednesday with something different, something new. So have a nice night, everyone. I'll see you then. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. How do you like the Dark Souls music, by the way? Did you feel frightened? I felt like a villain, like a boss. Like I'm the boss fight. You're all fighting me, chat. Alright. Good night. Bye-bye.